Hey everyone, and welcome to Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. We have some amazing books on FOC this coming Monday, November 24th. We have an incredible guest from Oni who's going to give us all the hype on some major things coming from one of our favorite publishers. But that's not all. So tune in after this opener to discover all the amazing books that you can order on Final Order Cutoff this coming Monday.
Hi everyone, I'm Mathias Lewis, and I'm here to talk to you about FOC, or Final Order Cutoff. It is the last chance that we, the comic retailers, have to finalize our orders for comics releasing roughly 3 to 6 weeks out from the Mondays we finalize our orders. We deal with this every Monday, but this is important to you, the consumer, because it is the perfect time to reach out to your local comic shop if you want any specific or guaranteed items. If you want the Jim Lee or Dan Mora covers of Justice League Unlimited, reach out to your local comic shop and let us know. If you want the new issue of Lilo and Stitch, this is the perfect time to tell us. Because as long as you can get us the orders before Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that will give your local comic shop retailer enough time to finalize that order, adding in whatever it is you want, so they can guarantee when it releases, we have a copy set aside waiting for you. So, always reach out to your local comic shop before 6 p.m. on Mondays with the comics you want. The sooner, the better, to guarantee they're waiting for you.
All right, everyone, and we're going to be talking about comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this coming Monday, November 24th, week of Thanksgiving on top of that all.
It's true. It's always hard on holiday weeks to have things like FOC and all these other things that you kind of have to do in the shop. Because you're also I don't know, I have to find a turkey and I don't know, go find a pilgrim to help me cook it or whatever you have to do for Thanksgiving, as well as running your store. So if someone can call you up on Saturday and be like, hey, I want to order this book, it makes that life so much easier.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it right there. Although I will say in advance of the day, I am thankful for the Final Order Cutoff system that we have had for just a little over 20 years now. Thankful to people like the incredible Brian Hibbs that helped bring it about. And Marvel, even though they're the problem that caused it, they're also the solution that helped, create this situation that makes life a little bit easier for comic shops. And for you, the consumer, to guarantee you're getting what you want with a little bit more heads up and information than the old initial order system. Now, that being said, we should remind everyone, if they want to see all of the comics on Final Order Cutoff every week, there are 2 key websites we currently recommend using to see all of the books on FOC. Bring that on screen. The first one is prhcomics.com. That is Penguin Random House, and it will show you all of the incredible comics that distributor Penguin Random House has on FOC each week. That would be your Marvel, your IDW, your Dark Horse, Distillery, Ignition, Kodansha, Square Enix, and more. Just head to prhcomics.com. As you can see, this wonderful website, it has all these visuals that just like to flash at you. You click this wonderful section right here that says FOC with our date for Final Order Cutoff, and it will bring you to this list. We always recommend sorting it by A to Z. Just makes your life and your comic shop's life easier when you give them that list in order. And you can
You've
see
only
all
been Canadian for a little while, and it's already A to Z, really?
Well, being born in England, it was just equally, Z over there. But yeah. Meanwhile, for those, I know, like the 2 countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving this week is the hilarious part. But that being said, if you are looking for your DC comics, your Image comics, Oni Press, Dynamite, and more, you're going to want to go through Lunar Distribution's website, lunardistribution.com. Going there will get you this website, a little jaunt down the scrolling screen, get you to upcoming FOC. Make sure you're clicking on the right date, November 24th for this week, and you can see all of their amazing comics on FOC. Now, even if your local comic shop uses an alternative distributor, such as Universal or the like, these two websites will get you all the key information for FOC on this week. But if you need a little bit extra, we always have one of the greatest extras in the comic book industry. Our co-host and guest for this week's show is Oni's own Michael Torma.
What's up? How's everyone doing? Thank you for having me, as always, on the...
We have him. We do.
Yeah. I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, well, hey, I'm back. I'm here. What's up?
I need that intro again. Let's try it one more time. We have Oni's own Torma.
Hey, how's it going? Wow. Yeah, that's Torma for happy FOC, happy Friday. Thanks for having me. Always a fan. Always fun to get on here. What are we talking about today?
Oh, well, we're going to be talking about all the incredible comics that are on FOC this Monday, November 24th. But I figure since we have you here first,
yeah,
let's go out of order. Normally we start with like Penguin Random House, then move to Lunar. I say forget the distributor. Let's go straight to the publisher. We have the partner himself. Let's do some Oni books.
Let's do some Oni books. Yeah, Oni. Hidden FOC.
Oh. See, this is the problem. We're going to keep losing Torma every once in a while. So there. Let me put him back on.
Sorry, I'm using my mind powers to keep messing it. Is there only two people at once? Am I fighting for control?
Because I messed things up. I'm trying to figure out how to use the new vertical thing at the same time as the horizontal thing, and I messed things up.
It's all good. No mess up. This is that's how they learn how to make chocolate chip cookies. It was a happy little accident. We'll learn. What's that?
I did not know that about chocolate chip cookies. I mean, I know like the peanut butter chocolate combo, obviously.
Oh, yeah, no, the original lady who was trying to make chocolate chip cookies put chocolate in the dough, thinking it would melt and like become like a chocolate dough cookie, but became chocolate chips. See, and now it's like the most popular cookie there is.
I have no idea.
Hey, I got more than just comic book knowledge. I got obscure cookie baking knowledge. Anyway, I saw a biker mouse come up on the screen. Let's bring that biker mouse back up onto the screen if we can, because Biker Mice from Mars #7 is hitting FOC on Monday. Yeah, Matt Hodson's writing it, which is amazing. This issue is really, really sick because this issue is a crossover between the Biker Mouse Vinny, one of my favorites. He's the one on the red cycle here, and the Sectars. So he actually gets transported to like Symbion. So you have the Cellverse like toys in the toy box finally colliding and finally like crashing into each other in a glorious, glorious action figure sandbox crossover. If you haven't been reading Biker Mice, you can still hop in with this issue and enjoy an amazing, fun Vinny adventure.
So is this going to cross over with other Nacellverse comics, or is this going to be self-contained in the Biker Mice from Mars comic book?
So this will be self-contained in here, but other Nacellverse properties are crossing over. So we've seen, like in the last issue, the RoboForce showing up. I don't want to say too much about the next couple of issues, but we'll see all the Nacellverse guys and gals and toys and pals all coming through. Yeah, a little bit right there. But yeah, it's Biker Mice is clear and cut my favorite. Moto was always my favorite back in the day with the robot arm, but I mean, Throttle, Vinny, you really can't go wrong. They're mice on bikes. What else do you need? They're from Mars. They're Martians. Martian mice on bikes.
Plus, I mean, that's the fittest mouse. Like, I mean, I imagine you head up to New York, you know, you might see a lot of mice, you might see a lot of rats, but none of them got the muscle of those folks.
I know, right? The curls for the cheese? I don't know. Doesn't really rhyme. I'll work on that.
Well, while you're thinking that one through, and we know that there's going to be some big stuff happening in the Narcell universe of toys turned comics, what else does Oni have on FOC this week?
So this week is a pretty heavy, like, graphic novel week, which I'm stoked on. Oh yeah, we do have the high strangeness.
We put these things in an order, and then every week Mathias goes off of the order, and I just click the buttons, and then I get
something here.
A little bit.
No, put high strangeness back up. Put high strangeness back up.
I already clicked the.
Oh, do whatever works.
Anybody else, I wouldn't give a hard time, but you two, I'm going to give a hard time.
Yeah, give a hard time. Yeah, high strangeness. Third printing is coming out. What is time? What is space? All these dates are blending together. We just announced this yesterday, but this is hitting FOC as well. High Strangeness has been amazing. It's been selling really, really well for Oni. You guys have been loving it. It's been doing great in shops, and number one is coming back into print. If you haven't read High Strangeness or heard about it, it's the joint effort from Oni Press and Spectravision. Spectravision being the Elijah Wood, Daniel Noah led production company. And these stories are based on real accounts. Like Daniel Noah is working hand in hand with the writer of every issue to make sure that these are properly documented and properly able to send chills up your spine. This issue is the Men in Black, and it's not the, Tommy Lee Jones. It's not the Will Smith Men in Black that we see with a talking pug alien. It's the creepy, only been videotaped maybe once or twice for seconds in a hotel lobby, but 6 foot tall, hairless, pale, no super automatons almost. If you've never seen the footage, it's really eerie how they dress exactly the same and walk in step. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool.
This has been one of my favorite books of the last 6 months.
Hell yeah.
I picked up the first issue the week it came out, and I've been following along since. And you talking about it, and I think you were here, to talk about this book. And I think I did nothing but make jokes about Tommy Lee Jones. But then I started reading the book, and it's been really fun. And I'm excited to see where it kind of goes, because on some level, Chris Condon has been sort of under the radar, the writer of the year for me.
Yeah,
and so leaning into that with Daniel Noah and my friend Dave Chisholm, who, again, Spectrum and so many other great books that Dave has done, this is just a home run on every level for me. So I'm very excited to see this going to another print of number one. And, the fact that there's enough desire for this book to need that is a huge, huge win, I think, for comics as a whole.
Absolutely. It's, this has been one of my favorite Oni projects, just because I put on a tinfoil hat every now and again, and I always love exploring these I don't know, the fringe sort of events that happen, and when you're finding that video at 2 a.m. on your phone, when you're doom scrolling and you're like, oh, okay, what is this conspiracy that I'm hearing? But if you like this issue, don't miss out on number 2 that hit stands this past Wednesday, and it deals with a man and his relationship telepathically with a Sasquatch after he accidentally, well, I don't want to spoil everything, but Noah Bailey, who does the art, does some amazing mixed media work in here. And Noah Bailey, if you aren't turned on to his stuff, definitely make him a priority. I think he's going to be one of the biggest artists in the next decade.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have really been all-star collecting some amazing talent. I mean, I got to give it both to both Chris's, Chris Condon and Chris Cantwell, have been just amazing. I feel this past year, but Oni is kind of becoming the new Image as far as I feel collecting the hot new creators that are going to be the future shapers of the industry. Image kind of has settled to where I feel they have the top people currently. They're already big there. And now I'm looking towards Oni to see where the future lies.
Hell yeah. No, thank you. I wish I could take more credit for that, but that's our, excellent editorial and editor-in-chief and everything. But Oni, the thing that makes Oni special is the fact that it's always a cartoonist forward sort of publisher, right? We want to find the voices and the talent that might be a little bit out there in the best way possible, but are also doing pretty rad stuff.
Absolutely. Now that being said,
What's that old saying? You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. And in this case, it's you either die the hero or live long enough to become the big two, and Image has become the big two. So now the new heroes are filling in, and it's Oni and it's Mad Cave and it's, some of these other, used to be really tiny micro publishers who are taking huge parts of market share in huge spots on shelves.
Well, I think we're in a golden age almost of, maybe not a golden age. We're in a renaissance sort of period of comic books where I feel like the last few years has been a lot of like gloom and doom, but more and more people are getting into comics. More and more people are finding, this last like bastion of freedom in comic books. It's becoming a place where this rising tide is starting to rise all the ships.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing was there was a recent retailer survey. So most people who are watching this are probably not going to be familiar with it, but a retailer survey asked, like, how does, the publisher influence the sales of a book? And I hate to say, like, years ago it's been, Image book. This is, like, I got to buy it because it's the hot new Image book.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that Image does that now. Now it's like, it's a new Scott Snyder or Jason Aaron book. That's what drives that. But there are a handful of publishers that I feel are really still having that effect where the publisher is the driving force. And I feel that exists with like Oni, Ignition, Distillery. And I think it might be really just those three, like that, where those publisher driven names, are really, having a huge effect of like, I expect a certain thing from that.
I appreciate that. Like being held in the same breath as like Distillery and Ignition is always, I'm friends with Chip and Dan, of course, and Phil and everybody. And it's like, yeah, it's at the end of the day, yeah, we're all different publishers or whatever, but we're all, working together to try and make great comics that people dig. So thank you. Thank you for saying that, Mathias.
But as we said, this is the year of your guys' anniversary. I mean, you guys have been having, quite the year, and you have quite a history. So there's some good collections showing off that history on FOC this week, right?
Yeah, we got a smattering, a plethora, if you will, of just a ton of different collections hitting FOC this Monday, the 24th. Yeah.
Yep. So maybe we can get one of those on screen so we can talk up Rick and Morty having its
Rick and Morty. Yes. Everybody knows Rick and Morty. Everybody has seen an episode, has seen a meme of Rick and Morty, knows about the portal guns. Well, this is the volume 1 for the 10th anniversary omnibus of the Rick and Morty comics. And what we're doing is collecting the first 100 issues of Rick and Morty in this prestige like format. I love a good omnibus. I have shelves and shelves of omnibuses in my basement, and add some Rick and Morty goodness to that. And this is the first 20 issues.
Okay. I was just saying, like 100 issues. That's almost too much for an omnibus.
100 issues across 5 volumes, I should say. My mistake. Sorry.
But how much is the price point of a 20-issue omnibus like this?
Well, so this is, it's a fancy book. It's a beautiful, gorgeous book. This is going to be $75.
All right. And not like, as you said, it's a big, beautiful book. This is not going to be, some chintzy, little thing.
No.
What all do we get in this 10th anniversary omnibus?
So it is the first 20 issues of the Rick and Morty, series ever. So you get the stuff from Mark Ellerby, who did like Doctor Who. You have some of the Andrew McLean, like Headlopper stuff. Little Poopy Superstar, which is one of my favorites, just because Little Poopy Butthole, Mr. Poopy Butthole is one of the best characters. Second, maybe to Penn Sylvester. But Tom Fowler, Zach Gorman, Sarah Grayley. It's like the earlier issues of the Boom Adventure Time stuff that it feels very like indie driven with just like these big characters. I love this stuff.
Yeah. So you can't say no to a big, thick hardcover like that. So
you can't say no to a big, thick hardcover. Exactly.
There it is. All right.
You guys are gross.
Yeah, this is how we get in trouble. So next up, one that is not a big, thick hardcover, but it's got a big, thick story to it. Mine is A Long, Lonesome Grave. You came in to talk this up when we were first announcing issue number 1, and this wrecked me a little bit. This is a haunting piece.
It's brutal. Yeah, I think this might have been the first thing I talked about on the show.
It was actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and so now it's finally being collected. It's finally being put together. Justin Jordan and Christian have a hauntingly awesome tale of revenge and curses. The story follows a man, Harley Creed, who's by no means like a nice guy, and he's been cursed, and he only has a week to live, so he has to figure out who put the curse on him and kill that person to free himself from this inevitable demise. And he's going to do whatever he can to do it. In the first issue, I'm sure this is what you're talking about. He drives some like some railroad spikes into a dude's eyes. Like it's brutal. It's not a nice book in the best way possible. It reminds me of a lot of like Garth Ennis Preacher, sort of like Southern supernaturalism. Yeah. And Justin Jordan's great at that. Like, what is it? Strange Town of Luther Strode is still one of my favorite books that like he's ever worked on. And if you like brutality, if you want grit, if you want Breaking Bad meets Constantine, yeah, we'll say that. Then yeah, dude, mine is A Long, Lonesome Grave.
Yeah, I mean, my argument was always it's supernatural without the heroes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's even better. No Sam and Dean, just a bunch of Harley Creed.
Yeah. Absolutely love this one. If you missed out on this for any reason, if you want to have a haunting, what is this? This is going to be early 2026 release.
Yeah. This is early. Is that January? Yes. No. This is mid-December. This is right before Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay, so this can be your haunting Christmas read. You want to really just keep the family at bay during the holidays. This is your dark, twisted, John Wick meets supernatural.
Paranormal present to all the parents that you are. I'm trying to think of another P word. I can't. But yeah, holidays. This is the perfect holiday book. Mine is A Long, Lonesome Grave.
Oh, I love it. All right. Now, there's a book that I wanted to talk to you about, though, that's not on FOC yet.
Yeah.
This one's a big one coming up, but you've brought us so many amazing ones over the past years and year plus that you've been coming on and talking with us. I'm a little excited about this book that is releasing FOCing in January called Spirit of the Shadows.
Yes, you're only a little excited about it. This is going to be so good. Daniel Ziegler and Nick Cagnetti. If you don't know Nick's work from like Pink Lemonade, he has this amazing supernatural, almost ethereal Silver Age kind of style. And he brings it in Spirit of the Shadows. This is the story of a man who is thrust into the spirit realm and trying to be reunited with his long lost love, but all the while battling interdimensional demons, imps, creatures that are trying to keep him from reading the truth of his life in this life book that he has. And so he has to go through the spirit realm, find these pages to uncover his memories. It's awesome. It reads a lot like if Spawn was done in like the 60s. It has a very like Doctor Strange meets Sabrina the Teenage Witch kind of vibe to it. And there's a nice twist at the end of issue 1 that I don't want to spoil, but trust me when I say that this book will be a Eisner Award winning book. I guarantee it. It's so good. It's so awesome. I just want posters of every single page in this book. They're all a work of art. And this FOC's in January, so you got plenty of time to add it to your pull box.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like the interiors are amazing. If you give me 1 second, I will have to drag some of those on because this is, I mean, I think it's Nick. It is a very unique piece of art, but I think that's what I love about it is this is just not what you traditionally would expect to get with a book covering these topics.
No, yeah. And Nick is such a huge fan of Katrina. Oh man. Yeah, It's so good. Yeah, this is the imp that he meets in the spirit realm, who kind of gives him the what do you call that? Exposition almost dump. He becomes his like not caretaker, his guide in the beginning, trying to give him the base rules and figure out exactly what's going on. It's the last page is what really like seals the deal on this book. But yeah, PDFs are out there. You can definitely check it out. I'm dead. I love the vibe that Nick brings to everything that he works on. One day I really want him to do a Spider-Man meets Mysterio storyline, you know. I think he'd be perfect for it. Heck, I mean, give him Doctor Strange, give him anybody that can do weird psychedelic stuff, and he's there for it. If you haven't read Pink Lemonade, it's one of my favorite books from when I first like hopped on to Oni. Yeah, Nick's stuff is phenomenal. It's great. It's otherworldly, just like Spirit of the Shadows.
Yeah. No, this is absolutely amazing. I mean, like the best I can compare it to is like the All Red family and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some All Red, some Madman thrown in there.
Yeah, but this has me hyped. I am so excited for this. So this is FOC's actually next year, January 5th, correct?
Yeah, right after the holidays, January 5th. So like I said, plenty of time to get it onto your pool boxes. You know, get them from your local comic book shops, order them. Just send an email today. Send an email now and say, hey, I want Spirit of the Shadows added to my box. I want every cover times 10. Yeah, every cover times 10. Do that. And it'll be it'll work out.
I mean, amazing artwork. And I mean, you have some great covers. I mean, look at that beautiful piece. Is that Carl Cashel?
Yeah, Carl Cashel. I don't want to spoil too much. She becomes she's revealed at the end of issue 1, and it starts to all fall into place exactly who she is and how she's connected to the entire book and following this spirit of the shadow, if it were.
I have already gotten a message with somebody adding Spirit of the Shadows to their poll. Like,
no, you haven't, really?
No joke. On my phone, I legitimately have that right there.
Good. Yeah, add it to your box. If you want to know more, you can call me at 443-534-8327. That's my cell. Kyle, if we could just put that up here right now, flashing. Easy.
You always do this.
I know.
I think that the sad reality is Torma is a very lonely man that just needs comic phone calls.
You're right.
Hey,
you're right.
Torma and I talked for like a half an hour yesterday, so like I know he answers his cell phone. That's all I'm saying.
I do. I prefer cell phone. You know what it is? I just don't like emails as much. I like talking to peeps. But yeah, that's 443-534-8327. Hit me up. I don't care who you are. If you like comics, you're a good person. There you go.
Call for a good time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, call for a good time. If you want a good comic book time, 443-534-8327.
All right. So some amazing books on FOC, and even one that isn't on FOC for a whole other month.
I know. A little sneak peek, little preview.
Love it. Torma, you want to join us and talk about other books that are on FOC this Monday?
I would, but I have actually been pinged in the last like 10 minutes, so I might have to hop off and then I might hop back in if that's okay, or I might just see you all later. I am so sorry, but thank you for you know what? Yeah, give me. Oh, what, Torma? I got your number. Hey, Kyle, you did it. That's amazing.
443-534. It doesn't really work to the tune of the Jenny song.
Yeah,
I thought I'd try.
Torma is a friend. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we'll figure that out. But yeah, I have to skedaddle. But thank you all. I appreciate it. Oh, there's Akira. Oh, in 1776. I haven't. Okay.
Just come back when you're done working.
Yeah. I'll come back. I'll come back in like 10 or 15. I'll bounce back. All right. Later, y'all. Peace.
So with that said, thank you so much, Torma. We're going to talk about some of the other books on FOC this Monday, November 24th, and we're going to start it off over at Penguin Random House with all of that fun. Let's start with some Marvel craziness. If you're not already familiar with 1776, yes, issue number 1 has been out. We've FOC number 2, and I understand some people might have just saw a series of numbers. particularly those who are not from America or familiar with American history, they might have just been like, I don't know what this is. This is a weird looking title. But 1776, we're coming up on the semi-quincentennial of
Yes.
America. And that means that 249 years ago, America was founded through a declaration of independence to separate it from England. Now, the question becomes, if you're a true villain of America and the Marvel Universe, how can you destroy everything? You prevent America from happening. But don't worry, Doctor Strange and the Avengers aren't going to let that happen as they travel through time with a select crew of some of your favorite Marvel heroes back to the Revolutionary War between the United States of America and Great Britain, the United Kingdom, England itself, and set to right things back for American freedom. 1776 was an out there book. I loved it. It is unlike the classic 1602 or 1603 comic that I love. That was the other Marvel book that was just a 4-digit year. 1776 does a great job of really giving us that everything we love about American history while getting big superhero action. And I didn't think I needed that. I didn't think I wanted that. And I can tell you, I did. It is amazing. It is exciting. It is perhaps one of the most pro-American things in a time period where we just really could enjoy that across the board. 1776. If you missed out on this, go to your local comic shop, get it, or get an order in for the second printing with that beautiful David Nakayama cover, or that wonderful Todd Knock homage with the selfie George Washington giving the thumbs up. Gotta love that.
Absolutely. And anytime that Marvel does these alternate histories, they usually do a really good job, right? Like again, you talked about 1602, you talked about some of that kind of stuff, but Marvel's alternate histories are always a super fun read, and they always make you go, did I just read what I thought I just read? So always pick those up.
Absolutely. Obviously, got to give a quick nod to Akira as Toro pointed that out. One of the most amazing mangas ever by Katsuhiro Otomo, finally getting its 6th individual hardcover volume. I'm sure some of you guys have that big box set. Some people like me couldn't afford to buy the entire series of Akira in one box. So I love being able to individually buy these hardcovers at $40 a piece with a several month, gap that allows me to, I guess budget myself on my manga purchasing. But this is really cool to have Otomo's classic back on my shelf in a nice oversized hardcover, bigger than even the old Marvel Epic editions. All right. I don't know if you're aware of this, Kyle. I am a huge fan of Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland. So Dan Panosian's trilogy now of Alice stories have just absolutely had my attention because, well, we all love Dan Panosian's ever so brilliant artwork, as you can see on this amazing cover. His writing is just as good, showing that he is a full force to be reckoned with. And this is his 3rd Alice series, Alice Forever After, giving us a continuation on young Alice Liddell's story as we get Alice well over a decade past her time in Wonderland, dealing with her daughter getting a labyrinthian style tale of being sucked through the looking glass where Alice must go rescue her.
I've loved this series as well. I really like the analogy and the allegory that Dan was painting to, the current drug epidemic in the United States and some of that kind of the mental health stigma that, again, is such a prevalent situation here. And it's been great. I do have a small little concern with this one.
Oh?
The previous 2 volumes have been all Dan all the time. This series, he brings in Georgios Spalletta to add some additional art. I don't think that's a bad move. I don't. But it's one of those is I'm a little anxious to see how it changes. Right? How Giorgio's sensibilities add to the story. And again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's a thing that's slightly different that's worth noting. And again, it can't help but change the art style a little bit. And
actually, I do need to comment on that though. Giorgio has been the artist of all three of the Alice series.
the first one totally looked like all Dan.
Yeah, no, it's
and
amazing.
I think it's been
Giorgio does a great job mimicking Dan.
Well, and maybe that's it, right? Like, but I think it's been more and more Giorgio as the series have gone on.
Yeah,
is kind of what I'm getting at, right?
Yes, no, that I don't disagree with on there. But yeah, no, I mean it is awesome one way or another, and I am super hyped for this. This is going to be fun. So if you liked Alice Ever After, you need to jump on for the end cap right there, Alice Forever After. It's some amazing covers, by the way. I really have to point that out. Just stunning covers. I really have fallen in love with this FOC cover that has a bit of our Cheshire Cat gone crazy. But
there's an almost dynamitian number of covers for this book.
Yeah. But
it ain't bad.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, if you are a Cheshire Cat fan, which I know at least somebody watching is, this is definitely the Cheshire Cat kind of not caring for Alice's actions in the past and coming back for vengeance. All sorts of
the eye cover. It's a vegan Dan Panosian full art. It appears to be open order. It's not at all incentivized.
Yes, it is open.
Is actually the cover I am ordering the most of in order to offset the cost of getting the 1 in 50 vegan Cheshire Cat one.
Absolutely.
So
a lot of fun there coming in from Boom. A lot of great continuing series, but one that I have to really comment on is Amazing Spider-Man. Well, issue 15 is getting a second printing. We're looking towards issue 19 as Spider-Man, after being out in space, joining his Guardians of the Galaxy style group for the past few months, is returning home. And who is there to stop him? Our new villain, Hellgate. It's the second big battle between Spidey and Hellgate, and I think this has so much room to cause chaos and be fun. Well, finding a way to integrate us with our Norman Osborn Spider-Man back in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I got as we were scrolling through there, I missed it earlier when we were prepping, but the second printing of number 15 of this series with the Todd Knock glitch cover is also gorgeous. And what 15 is? What is that? The first Hellgate?
No. That is going to be the first of our. I know there's a first appearance in it, but it's going to be most of our space content. Spidey.
Yeah, I
made his first appearance in issue number 1 of the current volume.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So you could tell how far behind I am on my Joe Kellys. Yeah, I'm only through issue 4 of this series.
Oh, it gets so much better, I promise.
Oh no, it's been great. It's just like, here's my stack, and every week there's a new Oni press or a new distillery or a new that gets put on the top of the stack, and it just doesn't get shorter with the Spider-Mans at the bottom.
Well, and so something else on the stack that is not from a publisher you're going to expect. How about Calamity Before Jane, a Toon graphic novel? This is a story about everyone's iconically favorite female cowgirl, Calamity Jane, before she became the Western legend that we all know her for. Really interesting concept. I don't think I know anything about the early life of Calamity Jane, but this has my attention. And an $18 hardcover original graphic novel, definitely a cool and affordable entry point. But Noah Van Sciver doing this amazing piece. This starts off in 1901 New York. So turn of the century, early industrial age. Um, you're going to see how we got somebody who would become such an iconic figure, especially for middle American Western fanatics who love everyone from Wild Bill Hickok to Jesse James. You all likely know Calamity Jane, but I don't think. I mean, I know a little bit about Calamity Jane in her Western days in Montana or in the Dakotas. I know nothing about her time in New York. This is an intriguing concept to me.
Absolutely. Now, the same team, and it's part of this American Legends series that Toon Books and Astra Publishing are doing, did in 2023 a Paul Bunyan that I didn't realize until just now when we started looking at it. I have the Paul Bunyan book. And again, Paul Bunyan is not a real person, whereas Calamity Jane was. But it's a really good way, especially if you have the youngs in your life who maybe don't know about Calamity Jane or don't know about Paul Bunyan, to kind of push them in that direction and kind of get them into some of these more American mythology characters.
Absolutely. Well, speaking about American mythological characters, I don't think anything gets bigger than Captain America. And again, I always love commenting on it. We have current Canadian author Chip Zdarsky doing Captain America. This new story arc is going to take place after One World Under Doom. Final issue finally came out this past week, and it was a big drop. So as you who might have read it knows, the country of Latveria is in chaos. I won't go into the specifics in case you haven't had a chance to finish One World Under Doom, but you're going to want to grab that, and then you're going to want to grab Captain America #6, as Captain America and S.H.I.E.L.D., amongst several other groups, fight to claim the remains of Latveria, whether that's to stabilize it or cause more chaos. But without Doom there, this is going to be interesting. There are a number of great covers. Obviously, you can imagine there will be quite the effect with S.H.I.E.L.D., with a little bit of Red Hulk, with a whole lot of Steve Rogers, and surprisingly, a nice return of Nick Fury, which has me always enticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Going for something completely different. There you go. I got you all set up with it, Kyle. How about
I was clicking on Carmen Redclaw and I forgot to say no for something completely different.
Yeah. But Carmen Redclaw, Belly of the Beast, she is the descendant of Lobster, aka Lobster Johnson. This is an interesting 1800s cowgirl western in New Mexico about a gun for hire who hunts down paranormal threats. Part of the Hellboy universe, obviously, with that Lobster Johnson reference. I'm very much in on this. I mean, it bums me out that all we ever really tend to get now are Mike Mignola covers on the Hellboy stuff. I get that he's got to a position in his life where he can step back, and that's all he needs to do. But in the same, I've really loved some of the people who've been coming up on the Hellboy universe stuff. So Ray Allen on this has my attention. I believe Ray did the alternate. No. I think both covers are Mignola on there. Oh no, this is Ray Allen right here. Yeah. Wow. Mimicking.
So Ray Allen, you may know Ray Allen. Oh. They did Boris Karloff's Gold Key Mysteries from Western Publishing in 2023. And they also did From the Static by Band of Bards under their previous nom de plume, but they're the same person.
Interesting.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this is someone who is doing a Mignola book who doesn't have a ton of seat time, as it were. So this is a new talent. This is somebody who I think is on the rise, who it's worth paying attention to, especially, again, with the tutelage of Mike Mignola.
Yeah, no, definitely fun. I mean, I always love these from the world of Hellboy style books. But we have even more fun as City Beneath Their Tree, or Beneath Her Feet. City Beneath Her Feet. Wraps up finally from Distillery. We get towards the end of the Civil War facsimile anniversary editions. And if anybody wants to get me a really great New Year's gift, that beautiful Baldion cover of Namor and Sue Storm, absolutely brilliant. But let's talk a bit of manga. We obviously mentioned Akira Volume 6, but for you Cyberpunk fans, if you love the Cyberpunk anime, Cyberpunk Edge Runners Madness is a great new manga finally coming out from Dark Horse, and it is penned by the guy who was the showrunner of the Cyberpunk anime series. So definitely will fit in that style. I honestly feel like I've never played the Cyberpunk games. I'm sure somebody's going to be upset with me for that, but I've always loved the Cyberpunk aesthetic and stories that we've gotten from the previous Dark Horse miniseries of comics from the anime. So this looks enticing to me. Not to mention, Square Enix is bringing us Dragon Quest Volume 2 of the Mark of Erdrick, the Mark of Erdrick. It's hard to pronounce things in English after you've talked about Japanese things. The Mark of Erdrick, which is that classic Dragon Quest series continued on thanks to Enix. Frank Herbert fans, Dune fans, Dune House Atreides coming from Boom Studios in a new deluxe edition oversized hardcover, including a fancy slipcase with the Atreides house flag. That has my attention. But if you have not read this, this is by Frank Herbert's son, Brian Herbert, and co-author Kevin J. Anderson. This is the origin of Leto Atreides. This tells how young man Leto Atreides came to lead his house, lead to the birth of his son, Paul Atreides, the protagonist of Dune, and Muad'Dib himself, as well as how he met Paul's mother, what led to the Atreides family taking over the desert planet of Dune, and just really becoming a notable house after it had faded from so much glory well after the Butlerian Jihad. So for Dune fans, this is a must read. For anybody who is on the edge of liking Dune, who enjoys the movies, who was watching Sisterhood on HBO Max, this is where you can really deep dive in. This is some fun stuff. And even hardcore Dune fanatics who have read every bit of Frank Herbert's work, this prequel does a stunning job of giving you more background. All sorts of fun there.
Yeah, well, people have heard me talk about Dune enough. My problem, I have a Kevin J. Anderson problem, so it turns into a Dune problem, but that's okay. The House Atreides stuff has been very beautiful to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Panther fans, I don't know if you guys all saw, Chadwick Boseman just finally got his star place in the Hall of Fame up in Hollywood. So great time for Fantastic 452 facsimiles to be on there. Right now, we're just getting the poster. We will get the facsimiles soon, but that will be a reprint of the first appearance of Black Panther. Meanwhile, for those that were in for the manga talk, if you're a sports manga fan and haven't checked out Fence, you are missing out. Fence is an incredible LGBTQ positive book series that is the best Western sports story I have ever read in sequential art. I don't know what it is. Manga and anime have nailed how to do sports stories, and American comics rarely do it. I mean, I'm sorry. For as many copies of NFL Super Pro are out there, it's not a really great sports comic. But Fence has managed to make it an amazing slice of life tale about the sport of fencing. Not something you'd expect to want to read, but when somebody puts it in front of you and opens it up, you get drawn right in there and you're going to want every single part of it. Boom has been doing the Fence series, I want to say, for just about a decade now. It is stunning. It is great and always very approachable with these number ones that they do. They make it very easy to enter in, but you will want to go back and track everything down. Have you had the opportunity of popping open Fence yet?
I was I was the only manga store in town when Fence came out, so I know all about Fence. But I haven't read it in a long time.
It is definitely worthwhile. Just
Oh
like
yeah, it was
God,
always great.
Godzilla #6, and we're just keeping the theme of like Japanese influence in Western comics. But Tim Seeley is bringing about the end of Godzilla. Godzilla #6, Godzilla dies. Godzilla dies. That's crazy, right?
I don't think that's how that works.
You don't think that's how that works?
No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Tell it to me. Tell it to
Godzilla
me.
Godzilla can't die.
Well,
Like, I mean, especially because like they still have a whole series they just started with him in the Ninja Turtles. So like if Tim Seeley's going to kill him, they're going to mess up all of IDW's publishing schedule.
Well, I will say for those who are looking ahead, and I don't want to spoil anything, Godzilla #7 does have an answer for that. But I will tell you, Godzilla dies.
Unless they bring in Godzuki, I do not accept this headcanon.
Yeah. It'll be one to where I pay attention, but this is the first time I think I've ever seen a solicitation that is so aware of the concept of the aftermarket, where the solicitation itself says, if you don't order this issue now, you'll be buying it for a premium later. The future of the Kaisei era starts here. So I will emphasize, if you have any temptation, if you for some reason haven't started Godzilla Kaisei, I hate that it's a weird thing to say, hey, pick up the final issue of Volume 1, but pick up the final issue of Volume 1. This is a big one. This is going to be crazy. It is going to be game-changing. I love all these covers, including that incredible Dan Jurgens Death of Superman homage, but the death of Godzilla. And they've given us that advance notice. This is going to be a big one. Kyle,
I believe it when I see it.
Okay.
I mean, because again, like if Tim Seeley kills Godzilla, then you mess up Marvel's schedule, you mess up IDW's schedule, you mess up like 17 other publishers' schedules who are all leaning into Godzilla because it's public domain. You lean into a whole Tojo problem. Like, listen, Tim Seeley, I get that you want to kill Godzilla, but we all know what happened to Batman, okay, or Superman, okay? Like, it only lasted 6 weeks or whatever the hell. So, like, let's just hit the brakes on killing things and be like, Godzilla takes a long nap and someone else takes over for a while.
I think the bigger question becomes, in the world of comics, death, well, it rarely lasts in the world of publishing comics. Death isn't the end for our heroes, much like in Greek mythology.
No. Quickly, manga publishers out there, hear me out. Manga title, Godzilla takes a long nap and someone else takes over for a while.
Volume 23.
Well, like, you know, I'm just saying, like, that feels right, like, for a manga.
I feel you need more words in that one, actually.
Okay. Godzilla gets tired, so he takes a long nap and someone else has to take over for a while.
Got to isekai it somehow. And then in his nap, he wakes up in a world where he happens to be a modern-day businessman who has found his entry-level position at the used car dealership down the road.
Right.
All right. Now that we're off that bad line of jokes, let's talk about something that is just a modern classic. Helen of Windhorn, or of Windhorn.
Windhorn.
I cannot talk today at all. Helen of Windhorn.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing book. For anybody who read Tom King, Bilquis Everly, and Mathias Lopez, unbelievable Supergirl story, The Woman of Tomorrow, this is right up there. This is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow meets Knives Out. As Helen, our young protagonist, must go to her family estate after her prolific Robert E. Howard-esque father passes away. Now, this is a man who has made a fortune off Conan-esque storytelling, but when she goes there, she kind of gets sucked into that world in a more literal sense than you would think. This beautiful tale of 6 issues. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was thinking about your sales pitch, right? Like the whole meets Knives Out, and I was thinking, no, it's meets like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with more killing somehow. Like this is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow meets, Narnia with, like a whole like Conan the Barbarian vibe too.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my Knives Out reference is like only the first 10 minutes of Knives Out.
Right. So here's the thing, guys. Like Bilquist won a bunch of awards, a couple of Ringos, Eisner nominations. The art in this book, Tom King, who?
Yeah.
Okay. Like one of the greatest writers going, doesn't really contribute a whole lot to this book at this point because Bilquist just hits it so far out of the park. Right? It's like Bilquist hits a home run and Tom King is selling tires next door in this book. Like the story is so good. Don't get me wrong, Tom King crushes it too. But like the art is just so overwhelmingly stunning. Every panel. Just and then to have it in this kind of deluxe hardcover with the gold inlay, gold leaf, like almost leather bound looking, is probably the only appropriate way, really, now that we have it, to own this book.
Not to mention you have the wonderful, cloth ribbon and all of that.
Right.
But here's the coolest part. You talk about Bilquist's unbelievable artwork and Mathias' stunning coloring. But that's not even all of it. Because the back contains a sketchbook section with bonus art by Walt Simonson, Greg Smallwood, Clayman, Elsa Chartier, Tuolote, Massimo Carnival, Fabio Moon, and Jill Thompson. That is an all-star list of incredible artists providing extra content on this already fabulous device. $60 hardcover, well worth your time. Continuing on, we have a lot of great ongoing series from Marvel, posters, books, manga, collections like The Last Boy, which is Dan Panosian's unbelievable Peter Pan tale that takes place well after our classic Peter Pan story. But another big one I got to talk up goes to Marvel. For you video games fanatics, it's Marvel Rivals, but for me, it's set in my favorite realm within the Marvel Universe, one of the heavenly cities of the Iron Fist himself, Kunlun, as Luna Snow has to go to do a live performance in the oddest place in a pub in Kunlun, a bar, I guess, in the heavenly city. Everything about this just seems like one of the more goofy one shots that Marvel Rivals can have. But yeah, Marvel Rivals, Luna Snow, and the Cities of Heaven. I'm in. Like I love Luna, with the boba in, Kunlun watching Daredevil fight Angela. Like everything about this is just solid. Several great covers, including Adam Warren, the creator of Galacta, Daughter of Galactus, on there. Then, for those of you guys who are fresh off that hype of a big Marvel and DC crossover with Deadpool, Batman, and Batman, Deadpool, a new facsimile travels you back in time. You ready for this, Kyle? You ready to just age yourself? 30 years. 30 years since we had Spider-Boy team up. But we're back.
That was this many.
We're back with more amalgam fun. This is the second Spider-Boy facsimile we've got. I don't know if Marvel intends to continue doing the other amalgam or Marvel and DC crossovers. Like what I'd really be shocked by, we got the Omnibuy, which were amazing, but I would really be shocked if we don't see single issues. I just don't know if Marvel and DC can make it work out. But both publishers seem like they're a lot more open to sharing and working with other publishers right now.
It's almost like they realized that if they got the hell out of the way, they would make money.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this facsimile edition. Well, I own the original Spider-Boy team up. I can see a lot of people not having the access to it or only now being made aware of it thanks to big crossovers like Deadpool, Batman, and Batman, Deadpool. this is a fun way to get this fun amalgam that, merges your favorite Marvel and DC characters. Superboy, in this case, in the crossover with Spider-Man. So all sorts of fun there. Another big one this week. Another Tim Seeley one, because Tim Seeley just stealing the show wherever he can, is Psylocke Ninja. And for those of you who have gotten used to our current Psylocke, this is going back in time to when Betsy Braddock had the body and outfit of Quan. It's a Betsy Braddock Psylocke story set probably during your 90s X-Men called Psylocke Ninja. Nico Leone doing the artwork interior wise, which is awesome because we just saw Nico do that great cover on Marvel Rivals. I think this is fun. I mean, I always think my favorite Betsy Braddock stories are more of her with the Captain Britain, concept, Excalibur and the like. But I'm not going to deny I enjoyed her as Psylocke. So I'm excited to see this return without canceling out Quanen's current use of her own body again in the main Psylocke series. Are you excited at all as we exit out of Age of Revelation and return to the normal X-verse?
Am I excited at all that the worst executed thing that Marvel has done since the last poorly executed thing they had done is over? No, not at all. Am I excited to be returning to the regular universe? Yes. Am I in need of a new Psylocke book? Maybe more than anything in my entire life. So, I've not made it necessarily hard that for people to feel out that I am not the most big Tim Seeley fan, but Tim Seeley writing Psylocke seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. A lot of great covers on that one too, so nothing to complain about. Another one from
no, absolutely. And again, Psylocke Ninja sounds like a good time. Can we get Olivia Munn back to play Psylocke again? Is that possible? Can we do that? Like, is she too busy being like Mr. John? I'm just saying. Just hear me out, Marvel. Thanks.
There you go. Another one for manga fans. Well, there's a lot of reincarnated mangas, with isekai being quite the theme across the medium. A reincarnated carrier's strategy for another world was an interesting one, as our protagonist is reincarnated and chooses the most laid-back job you can have in a world of fantasy-style gaming. The carrier, able to carry extensive amounts of heavy items for his group. He says he's going to go travel alone and just keep it easy until he meets a young woman that ends up being the project he's going to have to carry because she is not yet ready to solo adventure. Seems like a fun, goofy, traditional isekai, but what can I say? It's worth spotlighting as a new number one coming out from Ghost Ship, the same people who bring us all those mature 7C titles. So we'll see how that one lands in a few weeks.
I've got to find volumes 1 and 2 because next to it reincarnated it in a mafia dating sim.
Yes.
I'm gonna make you an offer that you cannot break up with.
There it is.
I gotta find it.
Yeah, so we now know when that gets anime who needs to be the first person voice cast.
You come to me on this the day of my isekai reincarnation, and you ask me to do you this favor. This I cannot do.
I like it, man. I just need to rewatch The Godfather with you taking the lead.
Oh, every time I talk to Nikki, I do that voice.
There you go. All right, Star Trek fans, if you did not check out Last Starship, you are doing yourself the greatest disservice. This is perhaps one of the best Star Trek books out in a long time. I'm a huge Lower Decks fan, but this is even still topping that, as we get a story set in the far future in its own basic area of the Star Trek timeline and universe, featuring, yes, you guessed it, Captain Kirk. That is an awesome one you're going to want to grab. Second printing is available. Well, Voyager fans can pick up the 4th issue of Homecoming. Star Wars fans, if you're not the Star Trek, you probably want to know exactly how Han Solo and Chewie lost.
Hold on, stop. Fans of Star Trek The Last Starship, if you're in Southern California, there's a guy who you know who may or may not be having an in-store appearance with the people responsible for The Last Starship who just didn't promote it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's for everyone's comic shops because we want.
I'm just saying, like, if listen, if you don't give yourself the rub once in a while, you're never going to do it. So Saturday, right? Is that this coming Saturday? That's like the day after today.
Yeah, it's the day after.
They
Yes.
will the Brain Trust, who's responsible for The Last Starship, who's responsible for the Hive Mind, the Brain Trust. Listen, Colin and Jackson. Do we really need to give them we give them all the nicknames we want. I don't care. But they will be at Mathias's shop. So if you're around, go see them. Tell them how much you like The Last Starship and tell them how much you like a lot of the things they've been doing lately. And if you as a retailer are out there, because this is for all retailers, these kind of events sell those kind of books. So reach out, try and get creators in your store, especially books that you like, if you can get the creators who did those books to come to your store, and then you could push those books to more of your customers. It does nothing but help your store sell more books. So just again, the thing. And if you reach out to them, like, I don't know, when they have stuff on FOC, maybe you can arrange to have them in store by release.
Always the goal.
More benefits to paying attention to this stuff.
All right, guys. Continuing on, again, always so many great books on this week. Godzilla is interacting with the turtles, whether he is alive or dead for it. You'll have to read. But Tim Seeley managing to do a great cover on
it is my favorite cover
too. Yeah. We continue on with a lot of Turtles fun as the Turtles battle every version of the Turtles imaginable in Battle Nexus. Shredder gets his solo series 4th issue.
It's getting expensive to be a Turtles fan.
It is. Like, it didn't used
to be.
It's
getting expensive to be a Turtles addict. Yeah. There are a lot of great covers.
All right. Let's wrap up PRH with just a handful of other fun ones, including Venom 253, which has the solicitation I just had to read out loud of Mask makes her move. Madame Mask wants Venom out of her way, one way or the other, and somehow she's found out who's under the goo. With all the power of AIM in her golden glove, she's turning the screws on the world's strangest roommates. But will the goosome twosome squish under the pressure? Yeah, that's the solicitation for Venom. Or is Madame Mask waking up the monster within? Yes, it's Mary Jane versus Madame Mask in a crazy little bit of Al Ewing fun. Venom 253. I don't know who's writing these solicitations, but wow. Nevertheless, I am really enjoying this book. I love that James Bond-esque Nogi variant right there. But lots of fun to be had with Venom. Not the only one in there. I'm going to end on something out of alphabetical order. But Wolverine returns after the Age of Revelation and is going to be going up against Silver Sable, one of my favorite Marvel characters, often overlooked. So Wolverine versus Silver Sable, perhaps allied, perhaps at each other's throats. We'll have to see.
Hey, real quick, just to go back just a little bit. Welcome to Valentine's Town.
Oh, that was where
that
was where I was going to finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll go straight to it. Yes, as you guys are scrolling through all the great books on PRH, but yes, I said I was going to finish out of alphabetical order. Welcome to Valentine's Town. I love this for a number of reasons. Obviously, its release date will actually be 2 days before Christmas, giving you ample time to purchase before Valentine's Day. But this is one of the first side things I've seen that canonizes the officially canon sequel to Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, the Pumpkin Queen story. Because Valentine's Town is where Jack takes Sally for their honeymoon.
It's true. And here's from a business standpoint, something to really kind of think about. If you're a fan watching this and if you're a retailer watching this, This is a little golden book, so it's really designed for the children's. It is going to sell to teenage girls between the age of 13 and 19 like it's gold bars. Okay?
Absolutely.
Every scene kid is going to want this book. Every emo goth girl, every one of them is going to want this book because it's the whole like twisted love kind of Jack and Sally. Jack and Sally is this generation's Jack and Diane. Or Ross and Rachel or what. Anyway, so this is going to be a really important, really good seller. So ordering now, if you want to get it and read it, will let your retailer know the heat behind this book so that they can order up so that they have enough so that when the hot topic crowd comes to the comic book shop to get this book, they've got enough.
And I will say, if you and your significant other or the person that you are interested in is a Nightmare fan, this is the golden ticket as far as an ideal Christmas gift, Valentine's Day gift, or just a general, will you go on a date with me? Like, this is the opener right there. I highly recommend it. So I think I have the dog barking now. So welcome to Valentine's.
Falcor's telling you to buy the book, dude.
Yep, that's it. I know, if my significant other wasn't already watching, like to spoil the gift, that would be where I'd go.
No, Falcor needs it for his girlfriend.
Ah, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's leave PRH and head on over to Lunar Distribution, where we're going to see DC, Image, Oni, Dynamite, and more. But one of my favorite things is we're going to start it off with a DC Marvel crossover, a classic one going back, over 50 years.
Quickly, can we take a little diversion right from FOC just for a second? If you scroll up slightly on the PRE or on the Lunar website, you get this section called Previews. Then in the Preview section, you get you can click on these and you get basically digital ash cans, little previews of books that are forthcoming on FOC. They will be on FOC later on down the line. And two of those books are the relaunch of a publisher that is near and dear to my heart in SourcePoint Press. SourcePoint is the publisher up the street from me, like literally. I walk 3/4 of a block and I'm in their warehouse, right? So they are good friends of mine, and they're relaunching after having some time being away, some restructuring, some new things. London After Midnight is the classic Lon Chaney story that they did, and this is officially licensed by the Chaney estate. This book was previously crowdfunded, as was Alpha Dogs, the other book that they're relaunching with. But here's where this is particularly interesting and why I want to mention it. That the SourcePoint being included in Lunar is the launch of the second sort of conglomeration of publishers to join Lunar. So you have Massive Indies, and now you have the Piranha Publishers, which includes, SourcePoint Press. So you're going to see more of these small press publishers joining Lunar as they start to team up and form these other sort of, again, conglomerations, so that it makes more sense for the bigger distribution channels to distribute their work.
Absolutely. It gives us more access to more publishers is the great thing.
So I always make sure before I hit the FOC page to look right there at this stuff and take a look at what's there. So a lot of times I wind up buying books I wouldn't otherwise buy because, oh, hey, look, they're there.
Free previews, easily just a click away, and you can see all sorts of amazing interiors, sometimes full stories.
Right, like there's a book called Wrestle Heist from Image that I totally would have missed if I hadn't seen it on previews and ordered a crap ton of.
There it is. All right, guys, but we're going to scroll one little hint beneath that to upcoming FOC, making sure you're on November 24th. And we're going to start off with the Battle of the Century. It was last century, but the 1970s classic oversized Treasury edition, having its 50th anniversary this year, is Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. And now, not only is this amazing because you have that Carmine Infantino, Russ Andrew cover, Alex Ross has redone it. Stunning masterpiece. You can even get your favorite artist to redraw it, as this is a great combo piece and a large platform for artwork, if you would like. But yeah, I mean, everyone was on this. This was like the all-star of 70s, like Marvel DC artistry too, with Neil Adams and John Romita Sr. doing interiors. Um, this was a massive hit 50 years ago, and I sadly imagine a lot of modern comic fans have never seen this or knew it existed. And now you can get it at a very affordable price. All right, continuing on. Absolute Martian Manhunter starts its second verse with issue number 7, getting past the halfway point on its 12-issue run. Absolute Superman gets ready to wrap up its end of its third storyline as Kal-El goes up against Ra's al Ghul. If you need that second storyline, trade paperback and hardcover are available. But here's the thing I'm most excited about. How have we gone over a year without any crossover in the Absolute Universe?
Self-control?
Perhaps the right reason, which credit given to a lot of editorial as well as Snyder, but it's finally happening. Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman in the absolute best book. Kelly Thompson's Absolute Wonder Woman 15 is going to have that crossover.
Yeah, if two were gonna cross over, this is the two that makes the most sense. Like, giant axe and giant weird berserker sword. Like, if nothing else, we just need to have the guys who are forging their weapons team up in the Absolute Universe. But these are the two that make the most sense, right? Absolute Green Lantern crossing over with Absolute Martian Manhunter doesn't make a lot of sense. But these two do.
Yeah, and it will cross over directly into the highest selling Absolute book, Absolute Batman, with issue number 16 the month after. So if you are grabbing Absolute Batman and for some reason you're not reading the best Absolute book, Absolute Wonder Woman, you better hop on now, because this is going to be huge and you're going to need it before you dive into Absolute Batman 16. So yeah. Stunning covers again on there. And I do want to say, I'm under the impression, I can't say this with certainty because now I have to really go back and reread Absolute Wonder Woman because I need an excuse for that. I mean, obviously, Absolute Batman crafted his own axe. I believe Absolute Wonder Woman crafted her own sword. So you are getting the crossover of the weapons crafters.
Yeah, but I just basically need a Peter Dinklage from the terrible Thor movie.
Like
to do this. Like I need that guy. I need to be like Absolute Lucius Fox is making all of these weapons, and Absolute Lucius Fox is
Henry Irons, just
right, like just the most badass dude you've ever seen.
I like it. All right, Batman Static Beyond, issue number 2 on FOC. If you didn't grab that number 1, you need to rush to your comic shop and hope they're not sold out. They're probably sold out of the original Batman the Killing Joke, but we have a new facsimile edition once again. Very affordable at just a $5 entry point. That is insane because DC was charging $20 for a hardcover of this adaptation not too long ago. And now for $5, you can get the entirety of the original story as a facsimile. There is a foil edition and a blank cover edition not being shown on here, just a heads up. Speaking of which, look at these beautiful Biker Mice from Mars covers. Do you want to know more about Vinny, the character that Tormo was talking about? Here's his full trading card style bio on the B cover. All sorts of fun for you Biker Mice from Mars fan. I know that Kyle is a Biker Mice from Mars fan because I saw him see a Biker Mice character back in February in full form, and I think his jaw like cracked the table when it fell.
Partially because I'm mad they didn't tell me they were doing it so I could get the cameras in position, but partially also because whenever you have an animal doing people things at that size, you should be real scared for your life.
There it is.
But again, shout out to Oni Press for it would have been really easy to mishandle a lot of this Nacelverse stuff, right? It would have been real easy just to kind of throw it out there as a nostalgia grab and be like, meh, Biker Mice from Mars, and then, the cowboy one that I can't think of the name right now. And, some of these other ones that the Nacelverse stuff that they've done. But they've handled it so lovingly and so like they are so earnestly that it's not just a nostalgia grab. It's not just a, hey, Biker Mice from Mars. Ooh, it's. Do you guys remember why you loved this when you were children? Let's give you another reason to love this as adults.
There it is. And for anybody who remembers those bikes from Team America, those classic 80s figures, remember Team America is going to be in comic shop news starting with issue 2000 and issue 2002 on FOC this week if you want to let your comic shop know you're interested. Thank you, pup. I have a really wonderful co-host in the way of my dog constantly popping on screen right now.
I'll take off. I'll take off if Falcor wants to talk. Y'all don't need me.
He doesn't like the fact that it's raining outside in California. Comprehend that. So another big one that I think is going to be up there with absolute Batman, absolute Wonder Woman crossover is the DCKO one-shot of Red Hood versus Joker. As if these aren't two huge figures on their own, we have Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson doing the writing with Giuseppe Camuncoli and Dustin Nguyen doing the interiors. This is just unbelievable pairs. Two of the top writers, two of the top artists, two of the top characters in the most unexpected one-shot of the year.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to call you out just a little bit. The fact that neither the Dustin Nguyen nor Gilliam March nor Turin Clark cover is on the top 10, is kind of a shock to me. Now our top 10 is fire, so I wasn't like, hey, we should pull one of these off, put one of those on, but every one of those is top 10 worthy.
So this is one of those ones I'll outright say. I think the book is fire. I really do think it is. But I'm not gonna lie, the covers, I don't think are even gonna give a hint of how great the interiors are gonna be.
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. Those covers, again, that Dustin Nguyen cover, is just so great. And the Gilliam March cover is so freaking detailed and incredible. And then you get to the Turin Clark cover, and it that is what this book is. Even if it's not a great representation of the internals. So again, I thought they should have made the top 10, but there's nothing on the top 10 that didn't, we would have had to have a top 15 this week.
Yeah.
To get everything that deserved to be in the top 10 in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, and that Turin Clark does really give you that reminder of just why this is going to be an epic fight, because the last time we saw such a similar pose, it was poor Jason Todd as Robin on the bottom there, and the Joker
getting what he deserved.
Crowbar. Yeah. All right. I mean, I could go on for 3 hours on that statement there, Kyle, but that's a whole other, we'll have the conversation about death in the family and knockoff Robins in another venture.
Listen, there's a reason they killed him twice in Death of Family books in Batman. I'm just
saying. Yeah. So continuing on, we have Detective Comics with some unbelievable storytelling. I love that cover by Greg Smallwood. Remember, Greg's doing the interiors. So that is amazing on this unbelievable Tom Taylor tale that involves the Riddler. What else? We have all sorts of amazing things that are worth checking out on Lunar Distribution. A lot of great continuing series, as you see there. But a big one for me is Sarah Frazetta coming on for Fire and Ice Necron, a one-shot focusing on the classic villain from that 1980s epic film. But Sarah Frazetta, I want to point out, I believe the granddaughter of Frank Frazetta. If I have that correct. I don't believe it's his daughter. I believe it's his granddaughter. I could be incorrect, though, and it might be his daughter. But definitely awesome. Once again, Fire and Ice blind bags. You're going to get 1 of 5 unique variants as well as a blank. So, I mean, at that point, just for the blank of Fire and Ice, I'd say this is worthwhile. And then you get a bonus item. That I love mystery bags. Oh. Do want to show part of the DCKO crossover. It's Guy Gardner versus Jay Garrick in Flash number 28. Mark Waid and Chris Cantwell co-writing this. I love that we're getting a lot of co-authoring on these battles, because I imagine that both writers, and in the case where it's been both artists, they're dressing up as the characters and testing this out themselves.
Mm-hmm. However, I'm going to give a big thumbs down and a boo to the fact that there are 2 covers where DC just capped out and went, cover redacted, image to be revealed at a later date. Me. There are 3 covers like that.
Or redacted covers like that, actually. But yes,
I only have the 3 for whatever's showing up on my lunar page. So
I will say this though, when they originally did that, I thought it was impressive because they weren't spoiling who the pair-offs were, because clearly you see it right there on the cover. The original solicitation was that it's the match you never saw coming. Now that we have the cover revealed, we know who it is, and that would have been a major spoiler going into that.
Right.
But now that they've spoiled it, it just shows to me in my mind that the artists use that as an excuse to be late on their covers.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's even if this was evidence over on PRH. They had a Scotty Young cover for Psylocke Ninja where it just said cover not finished, but here's some Scotty Young Psylocke art. Like, give us a little something, like, to base our orders on. Right? So now I'm not ordering those covers when I might want them.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so now that's less money my retailer's getting. That's less money the publisher's getting. That's less money the distributor's getting. Why? Because you can't give us a taste?
Yeah. All right. How about a holiday special? You excited for Gargoyles Winter Special?
It's funny. Gargoyles is an interesting take for me. I've been lucky enough now several times to talk to Greg Weisman and Nate Crosby and the gang on Gargoyles about Gargoyles. And, it's the thing I love about what Dynamite is doing with Gargoyles is the general, like, it feels like the original show. And I had a problem when it first came back that I was worried that the voice wasn't going to be the same as the original voice. But what we have is we actually have a modernized, okay, we're a few years later. Like, it's okay for the voice to be a little different. And I understand that now on this book. And so while I don't think we need all the 1.5 billion covers we get of some of these books, every one of this Gargoyles book's covers are super great for me. The Jay Lee, with icicles hanging off of them. The George Cambadesis cover, who's doing the interior arts. I mean, even the Alessandro Rinaldi, kind of cover is just gorgeous. So they're just doing a great job of sort of paying honor to the Gargoyles that I grew up watching.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that Alessandro cover is phenomenal. I mean, I might even reach out to try and grab the 1 in 10. Like, it is an amazing piece. Mm-hmm. All right. If you guys didn't check out Ghost Pepper, by the way, from Image Comics, Ludo Lobby's amazing story with our protagonist being the person who gets you food in a post-apocalyptic crazy world, only to have one of her clients end up being a super powered human that could both save or bring about the end of the world, is an amazing read. It kind of reminds me of Rom V's Boom Studios flavor book meeting, a classic Image 90s superhero taste. It is insane. So the first 5 issues are on trade paperback. This is the direct market exclusive cover. This has beautiful artwork, great storytelling. This is one of those ones where I feel if you have a manga or anime friend and you want to get them into Western comics, this is it. And if you have somebody who loves Western comics and you want to ease them towards manga or anime, Ghost Pepper is the way to do it. That is a perfect taste of East meets West and brilliant storytelling. Then we have G.I. Joe 152, which was the origin of the Joes. Yes, the origin of G.I. Joe facsimile with Hama's extra details. Larry Hama's Hama-file editions have been great. I'm excited to have that one, especially as 152 is a hard issue to track down towards the end of G.I. Joe, where they just weren't printing on the volume that they were. The Gray Lady is a horror one-shot by Mike Benson and Adam Glass. You might know Mike Benson from writing episodes of Entourage, from doing all sorts of amazing comics like Deadpool. Adam Glass, similar TV and comic writer. You get the two of them combined with Ken Lashley's unbelievable artwork for a dark tale about a young woman who is dealing with the death of her son from an auto accident, only to have a paranormal twist drag her back into that emotional pit. Green Arrow doing great as it continues on with Chris Condon. Green Lantern getting us a Batman Green Lantern crossover by Jeremy Adams, which I think is going to be amazing because every time we get a Batman Green Lantern crossover with Hal Jordan, it's great. These two are not people that love each other, but they have to begrudgingly work with one another. I still often go back in my mind to Jeff Johns' issue where Bruce Wayne first put on the Green Lantern ring, and it was all his effort to become, a Green Lantern Batman. So those are always fun. A lot of great covers on that. I am all in for a Batman Green Lantern crossover. Then we have Harley Quinn fanaticism as Harley Quinn and Ivy's Life and Crimes by Erica Henderson continues on with its second issue. Some stunning covers on that. But talking about stunning covers of Harley Quinn, issue 57 is actually the 200th combined issue of Harley Quinn. And we are getting back the original creative team of Harley Quinn #1, the first of her ongoing series. Terry and Rachel Dodson are coming back to art for this big 200th issue. I love that we have a ton of great covers. Unique Paquette doing the 200th birthday cake. David Nakayama returning her to her classic costume. My favorite, though, is that Terry and Rachel Dodson piece homaging Harley Quinn #1 from about, 22 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. All sorts of fun there. A lot of great continuing series. Here's an interesting one to bring up for attention right here is Image Comics is doing something unique. Their 2025 stocking stuffer blind bag. It's going to be a blind bag, much like your Invincible blind bag, but everything inside is a ratio variant from one of the top Image series over the past few years. Guaranteed 1 in 25 at minimum, could even be a 1 in 100 incentive ratio. Now, I don't know the full details of what all is going to be in there. Could there be things that are higher than the 1 in 100s because it has Invincible Battle Beast in there? Could there be sketch covers? Could there be more? We really don't know. But at $20 for a 1 in 25 at minimum, might be worth grabbing a few. I don't know if this is going to be the one where you go as big as you do like those Mark Spear blind bags or Ultimate Endgame or Invincible Battle Beast. But I know I'm personally going to probably pick up 2 or 3 just to see what happens.
Well, and see, this is how blind bags should go, right? This is a way to get some incentivized incentives.
Yeah.
You're not just buying, I did 1.5 million covers of my book. Let's put them in a bag so you don't know what you're buying. No. These are books that were not, you couldn't just jump up and get them all the time, right? Shops weren't necessarily carrying them. So now it's okay, the book might be 4 or 5 years old, but here's this incentive in a blind bag that you don't have to wrap. You can give to the comic lover in your life, plain and simple. And at the end of the day, like, it's an Image book, so you know it's good.
Yeah. I mean, there's some big things in there potentially. I Hate Fairyland, those 1 in 25s, they go for a huge amount on the aftermarket by Scotty Young. Skinbreaker and Battle Beast obviously had huge ratio variants that a lot of us were trying to track down. And even ones that you might just be shocked by. Like, I think Lucky Devils, that means you're getting a first printing, and that went to several printings. But
right.
Blood Thunder, Bug Wars, Witchblade had high ratio variants that were amazing. God, could you imagine cracking that and getting that J. Scott Campbell Witchblade? Woof. That'd be money and beauty in the same.
Yeah, I think we've gotten away from how blind bags should work and just gone to marketing gimmick blind bags. And I think this is a great way of kind of reminding people how blind bags should go.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Invincible fans, I know most of you watching the TV show don't even understand that we're coming up on a Viltrumite war. But if you got a hint from that last season of what the Viltrumites could be, this is the trade paperback you must own. Collecting the Viltrumite War. This is perhaps my favorite storyline in all of Invincible. definitely worth grabbing. Volume 13 for $17. That is bloodbath epicness. Then, of course, spinning out of Invincible, we go back to the classic Cape story by Robert Kirkman that integrated itself so heavily into the Invincible universe and led to some of the Guardians of the Globes in later storylines. We are getting those classic tales reprinted with extra content, new artwork, new dialogue, all sorts of fun. First issue dropped this week, and it sold gangbusters for me. So make sure you can get into your local comic shop, let them know if you want a copy of #1 set aside for you, and get the pre-orders ready for issue #2. A lot of great covers on that. We have all sorts of Justice League fun with Justice League Red, Justice League Unlimited, and Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Lion King gets its second issue with a million great covers, all featuring Mufasa. For you, sweet paprika.
By the way, just if you missed Lion King #1, make sure you go get it. It really does feel like the movie, and not like the other Lion King series that Dynamite had done, where it was a little more movie adjacent. This was, this really does feel like the movie.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, if you want something mature, something spicy, and a little bit sexy for your holiday season, Mirka Andolfo is back with Sweet Paprika for a black, white, and pink holiday special. Mirka will be writing it. We have interior artwork by several of her good friends and some stunning covers by the likes of Mirka, Godtail, and more, including a naughty Mirka Andolfo polybagged one. Caution, this is going to be a spicy cover. All sorts of fun there. I always love Mirka Andolfo, a little bit of the devil and angel, forbidden love in a naughty way. Simon Kudransky's No Man's Land wraps up. That was unbelievable. I got to read the 4th issue. It is a powerhouse of an ending, and I love the PlayStation 1 homage cover right there too.
Quickly, just want to mention Pale Knight, which is coming up here. Peter Milligan, Val Rodriguez. This is set a la Nottingham, old school England, knights, the Black Death, like supernatural, but it feels a lot like Volume 1 of Nottingham as you read it. So just if you like Nottingham, grab that one to check out.
Absolutely. So a lot of great ones continuing. Another holiday special in the way of a New Year's venture for Red Sonja. Yes, Red Sonja is getting a New Year's special written once again by Dan Panosian. Man, this guy, I baffle myself just like of how can he draw so many amazing covers each month? And then he's writing multiple series on top of that. This guy just doesn't sleep. I'm certain of it. Some great covers available, including a mystery bag on Red Sonja New Year's special. Obviously, that Rick and Morty hardcover we were talking about earlier with Torma, 10th anniversary omnibus, 20 awesome issues, thick $75 hardcover. You know it's going to be amazing, especially now that they have a magnetic underneath their arm. They know how to put together some beautiful hardcovers over at Oni. But another one I got to point out is Skinbreaker. No one's ordering enough. Let's just be honest, myself included. Skinbreaker is the hit we expected it to be. Robert Kirkman and David Finch doing a powerhouse tale of orc warfare, and it is just unbelievable. I thought I ordered an unattainably large amount that I wasn't going to sell out. I've sold out through multiple printings, waiting for the new printing to come out December 3rd. But issue #4, get ahead on. Get your pre-orders to your local comic shop so you're not chasing these down on the aftermarket. Spawn, dealing with the fact that everyone knows the paranormal exists now, is going to change the scape of that universe. I'm looking forward to seeing where Todd brings us there. Much like I really want to see the most unique battle out there in the DCKO, it's Lex Luthor versus the Demon. The Demon Etricon, a demon from hell, hosted in the body of Jason Blood, a paranormal magician of sorts, going against the guy who is nothing but science and logic. This is going to be a weird battle.
I have a little bit of a thing with this. I love Etrigan versus Lex, right? Like that's great. Why are our two of our variants just a hot chick that looks like Aubrey Plaza and Superman? Why do we not have hot variants of Etrigan and Lex Luthor? I'm just saying. You have Tula Lote draw Etrigan, and you have Sebastian Fumiera draw Lex Luthor, and you call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, I would be in for that. I think it'd be a weird take, but I love it. I mean, this whole thing is a weird take. And
see, so interestingly, Matthias, because you and I opened Lunar at different times, I have all three of those blacked out covers that you don't have.
Well, let's play a game of refresh. Oh, wow. I got the, there's the Tula Lote. I like that. I don't have the other blacked out. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's a David Aja cardstock that is totally that Lex Luthor riding a bomb. That is pretty cool too.
There's David's. Ooh, wow, that is amazing. Yeah. So just that reminder of just how quickly we dive into FOC, that sometimes not all the information is there. It happens as we're going live. So make sure to take a look at prhcomics.com and lunardistribution.com, because sometimes there are updates and changes that will give a little bit extra detail, like those great covers. I mean, now this is one of my favorite covers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's how Lex Luthor learned to stop caring and love the bomb. Tama continuing on with its penultimate issue, some great covers available there, one of which is making it to our top 10. We have all sorts of fun in the way of Thundercats, Toxic Avengers, and the final issue of Trinity, because you can't have enough corgis in your life.
Shout out to Megan Marston's daughter, who cosplayed as Trinity at Baltimore Comic-Con. I was not a Trinity fan until she came up to me and go, I'm Trinity. Okay. I'm in now. She was real into it, and I get it now. It's for kids. It's not for Kyle's.
You just don't have enough corgi love in you. That's all it is.
That is correct.
We'll ship you a corgi or 2 or 12.
I'll just itch to death, so don't.
All right. Void Rivals hits year 3 and starts off with a huge one. The Quintesson War. If you know anything about these oversized, multi-faced, floating planet-level figures, they have been a threat since their initiation. But now we're going to see just how much of a threat they can be as they come for the ring. This is going to be a huge game changer for Void Rivals. I think could be the first moment we really start seeing Void Rivals heavily cross over into our Earth-based books of Transformers and G.I. Joe. I kind of want to see the Quintessons truly be a threat. Like, this has got my attention. Obviously, Skybound's pushing it heavily with a number of open order covers, some high ratios, and 4 foil variants. We have the face die cut mask of our 2 protagonists. We have the die cut foil piece right here by Eric Canite. And then, of course, Lorenzo's amazing cover just outright in foil. This is going to be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But as we're already talking about some of the things in the top 10, let's just dive to the top 10.
Real quick. Wet Moon, 20th anniversary omnibus. Not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about this because I'm not the guy who should be talking about it. There are certainly other people in our community who can do a much better job of explaining why this book was so important. But when this book hit, it was hugely important to members of the comic book community and members of fandom. And Sophie Campbell did such a great job of sort of broadening what a graphic novel story could be in this series. So the fact that it's 20 years later and they're re-releasing it in omnibus form, this is Where All Stars Fail to Burn, Yesterday's Gone, and Morning Cold, all in one bigger book. So those are 3 individual trades that are now being combined into one omnibus here to celebrate the 20th anniversary. And like I said, there will be a lot of others who talk about this book, who can talk about it more from an experiential standpoint. But this was a big deal. So celebrating its 20th anniversary, if you're a retailer out there, especially if you have a LGBTQIA section, if you have a female-driven story section, if you have female creator highlights, this is one maybe to kind of put out there, because this was one that really made waves when it happened.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's helped define Sophie Campbell's career, and Sophie's still doing amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's cut to the top 10 for the big books on FOC this Monday, November 24th. And we're going to start it off with the honorable mention. I have to give it to that incredible hardcover, Helen of Windhorn. Not only is this an amazing story, this is an amazing looking binding for this. I love everything from gilded pages, gilded, style, faux leather hardcover with the ribbon, bookmark. This is going to be awesome. But the part that entices me the most is those big name artists doing the sketchbook in the back. Then it's the hottest topic. Everything's covered it from Simpsons to South Park. It's Labubu. Tama is taking it down with a Labubu homage variant by the incredible Agnes Garbowska, one of the sweetest artists in the industry. This is just ridiculous, and everyone's going to come out for it. Alice Forever After, I got to give credit to Spalletta doing those amazing interiors, but that cover gives you that hint of the dichotomy of Alice, the mother, and Through the Looking Glass being the twist that takes her daughter away from her. It does have a very labyrinth vibe to it, I feel. Then, cannot say no to that Stanley Art Germ Lao Psylocke Ninja cover. Gives that wonderful hint of it has a Japanese art style to it, despite being a Chinese artist, but I like this. This is beautiful. Just amazing feel. Hope Tim Seeley nails the interiors on that. Then for Void Rivals, these die cut covers have been amazing. I don't know if anybody checked out the start of the Dreadnought Wars with G.I. Joe, but this is going to be awesome. That die cut of the slicing through the cover effect with the foil interior by Eric Kanide, that one's going to be awesome. Then we get to Fire and Ice, Necron, Dan Panosian. Not only has he got stories in the top 10, he's got artwork in the top 10 on this one shot focusing on Necron, giving us a little bit more background to the big villain. I also should point out Sarah Frazetta doing the writing will draw a lot of attention from Frazetta fanatics. Then we get Spawn 371 as the grander world learns about all that is paranormal in the Spawn universe. It seems like Spawn himself and the Violator are going to celebrate a delightful and innocent-looking Christmas. I do love Christmas variants. And while I don't think this affects the story or inside the book, I think a lot of people are going to come out for it. A lot of Spawn fans are going to buy multiple covers on this one. Just a great piece. I really look forward to paying more attention to Danny and Gracia based on this absolutely wonderful painted cover. Then the homage to 200 issues ago, Harley Quinn #1 gets retaken by the original artist Terry and Rachel Dodson with a new costume on Harley Quinn 57, aka issue 200. I like the switch of the cork gun to the rubber chicken. Solid piece there. Then we have Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, Alex Ross redoing that infamous Carmine Infantino cover, and it is just flooring. At a corner glance, it looks like the original cover, but then you just see that Alex Ross detail. It is amazing. I have to own this. It's great. Speaking of Superman homages, how about an homage to Superman 75, the death of Superman, as we deal with the death of Godzilla? Dan Jurgens himself, the man who did the Superman 75 cover, returns for this cover on Godzilla #6 as Tim Seeley, another man with multiples in the top 10, brings us the end to the greatest kaiju ever. Finally, we end it with the big one, the one that you know is going to sell gangbusters. As if Absolute Wonder Woman isn't already a high seller at your store, it is now going to perhaps outperform Absolute Batman with this Absolute Batman crossover. Absolute Wonder Woman #15, we have to point out the beautiful Q Yong Yom cover featuring our two battle-weary super weapon combatants. This is going to be unbelievable. Remember, this issue leads directly into Absolute Batman 16, so you should be ordering at minimum your Absolute Batman 16 orders on this, probably plus some for anybody who was reading Wonder Woman that wasn't reading Batman. Somehow you have these two absolute titans of comic sales, and they don't have an absolute crossover. So I imagine this is going to raise the bar on both of their sales and hopefully lead to people reading both series going onward.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, what absolute things are on this channel for the rest of this weekend on the XP?
Well, tonight you have the original art show with Nikki. Nick is doing part of the show, and then Spencer Beck will be coming in to do the second half of the show. He's got a ton of great art that he'll be offering. Then Nancy McCann will be here tonight at 9. Then on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, me.
Ooh.
I will be selling comics. I'll be doing a live sale.
I just watched your last show last night, and you were selling some unbelievable stuff at ridiculous deals.
Yeah. Oh, I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I just picked up a brand new collection that I'm going a box at a time through, and we're selling them a box at a time. So it's every book will be $2 except for the keys and minor keys, which will be, priced at whatever the market value is. But that's what I do on Sunday night. And then come Monday, we will have Comic Collectibles with Rex and Best Coast Comics. And then Tuesdays is a big day, guys. We have Rich Davis and Les Linden Garner who are hosting a show, writer versus artist, where they're creating 4-page mini comics live on the air. And we have a big, long end goal with that show. So make sure you're tuning in and checking that out. You get to have a little bit of input through the chat as to what happens in the 4-page comics. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern, Miss Jen hops in with Minute to Skim It. Then we immediately turn around and Miss Jen again does Tomorrow's Comics Tuesday, which is an opportunity for you to pre-order the Wednesday releases on Tuesday night from a local comic shop. So we had people this week were able to get variants of Batman Deadpool that they weren't able to get at their local comic shop on Tuesday night, so that they knew they were getting them for sure. Then, guess what? It's me again. What am I going to do on Tuesday? I don't know, because I have to move my studio out of my house to get ready for Thanksgiving, but we'll find out. Also, Tuesday at 2, Comic Industry Insiders, we will be talking about Mo Metadata, Mo Money, aka how managing the data and managing the flow of comics in and out of your shop, especially as the price of back issues goes up, will help you as a shop make more money. Then Wednesday we'll have Comic Collectibles, followed by the Hump Day Heroes out of Past, Present, Future Comics in Florida. They are doing a blowout, day before Thanksgiving blowout. Thanksgiving night, the Geek Chat is here. We will probably also have some other content on Thursday as well, so that when you're ready to escape your family, there's somewhere to tune into. Then on Friday, we're back to normal. Matthias and I should both be here, right? We have to talk about that. I don't know if we're doing a show Friday. We should try to figure that out.
I'll be doing a show on Black Friday. It'll be the Black Friday special.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you were going to be like having to sell books because it's Black Friday. Anyway, so we'll be here, and then Nick will be doing a blowout for the art show. Not sure yet what Nancy's doing, but next week is going to be a big week, guys. So make sure you tune in. You never know what's going to happen. Holiday weeks, things tend to get a little crazy.
Absolutely. And a reminder, as always, if you want to make sure you don't miss out on things like those incredible Deadpool Batman or Batman Deadpool covers, as always, reach out to your local comic shop. Let them know what comics you want, what covers you need. Get that information to them as soon as possible, especially because that's what this whole show is about, is getting you ready for this Monday's Final Order Cutoff. So go back, catch anything you might have missed. check out the websites, view anything we didn't talk about, and let your comic shop know what it is you want. So it's guaranteed sitting there waiting for you when you go pick it up.
Absolutely.
That is our show. Thank you so much for watching. And since we won't get to see you again until afterwards, at least I won't, have a very Merry Thanksgiving. Is that what we say?
See you later, everybody. I don't know. We'll figure it out.